Welcome back to Sports Cards Analysis. I'm JT with another case break simulation. Thanks for joining me today, guys. Today's 2022 Topps Dynasty Baseball. We're going to jump right into this. If you haven't seen my videos before, please check them out and learn a little bit about what I'm doing here. But mostly, I'm going to simulate some case breaks, and I'm going to give you some statistics about what the team breakdowns are, who's in this product, and what you should pay if you want to get into a break here. Just keep in mind that I'm not responsible for your purchases. I'll give you advice, but that's about it. Just advice. I'm not suggesting anything. So, hopefully, I've heard a lot of good feedback. Hopefully, you get some hits here. And if you buy into this break, you're going to have to spend a lot of money. So, hopefully, you get some hits. If you don't, sorry. So what is this? This is Dynasty. This is one of their bigger products. This is one of Topps' biggest products. It's the high-end, very low-numbered autograph patch cards. They've started to include things like batting gloves and I think in the soccer one there was some shoes maybe. But yeah, it's a very high-end luxury product, as Beckett has called it here. And memorabilia is really kind of the focus here. So you get one card per pack, one pack per box, 5 boxes per case. You're paying a lot of money for that. You're going to get one auto guaranteed. Every card in this set is autographed. Very easy to break down, so this shouldn't be a very long video. Let's look at the cards. Dynasty is very recognizable. It has a very Origins slash Inception style aesthetic with patches, and they kind of give you this ornate design around the patches, but really your eye is drawn to multicolor patches. This one here, we got like 1, 2, 3, 4 color patch there for the Mariners, and that's going to be pretty much everything. If it's not a multicolored patch, or it's not many colors, then it's going to be a significant artifact, at least from what I've seen. Now there are cards in this product called relics, and I'm not sure what those are, because in the checklist they make a distinction between patches and relics. So I'm not sure if maybe the relics are old uniforms that don't have patches, and it's kind of just like what they have left. But the batting glove thing I think is very interesting. I would really like to collect a batting glove with the logo. These are batting glove logo pieces. There's, I think, batting glove leather. There's batting glove straps. If you guys follow baseball more than just collecting cards, like my kids play at a high level, Bruce Bolt, and now some newer batting glove brands are including straps around the wrist. There's a wrist strap card in this set. There's multiple. There's a full wrist strap set. So keep that in mind. I don't know if that's just the elastic. Like on the Franklin batting gloves, this is going to be too much detail for most of you, but on the Franklin batting gloves, there's like the Velcro, the old Nomar Garcia Parra kind of step out of the box and mess with your Velcro / elastic. But there are also wrist straps now, like weightlifters would have on batting gloves. It kind of keeps your wrist stable and does a lot. So I'm not sure what exactly they're using there, but you can see, okay, they got this ornate look. They got this cloudy background. They don't do the full player body. It's not an action shot. It's mostly a portrait. But there it is, autographs. Everything's autographed. There's the Mike Trout patch auto. Most things are going to be patch autos. Most cards in this are patch autos. And then things like the batting glove. They also have baseball leather cards. And those, from what I understand, are all from a significant moment in baseball. A lot of times when we see baseball cards, even high-end baseball cards, you flip it over on the back, it says, congratulations, you've got this thing. But it doesn't really give you a lot of information. There was a short period of time, maybe 2016 and 17, where they were including the authentication stickers. I don't know if they still do that, but you were able to look up the moment that game-worn jersey was worn, and you were able to see what that game was, what the result was, everything like that. And I think that added a lot to the product. I'm sure a lot of collectors out there weren't looking at them, but these baseballs apparently have significant meaning. So the cost of a case is $43.49 at Steel City. At least that's the price I could find. They didn't actually list it on their website, but I was able to find it through a little bit of searching. If that is the real price, which I think it is, I mean, this is a very expensive case. You're getting 5 cards per case, so you're paying just under $1,000 per card That's a lot of money. And yes, I'm going to say later in this that maybe you won't make that back. But obviously you can. I mean, look at this Mike Trout card. Let's say this is this worth 1,000? I don't think so. Maybe 5 to 800, somewhere in there. Because the Mike Trout autograph alone, I think you're probably between 200 and 300 on just a Mike Trout card, maybe with a high serial number, 99, 199. Add in this excellent patch, just great patch there with the jersey in the background. Add in the rarity. No card in this set is numbered higher than 10. That's something I forgot. Every gold version is numbered to 1. And so things like the batting gloves are 1. So this card right here, maybe because it's a 1 of 1, and it includes the Franklin logo, which it's weird to me that the batting glove ones, side note, are 1 of 1s and not 1 of 2, because you have 2 batting gloves. Maybe they're saving the other one for another time. But it'd be interesting if like they did like a batting glove where it was 1 of 6 or something, or 1 of 7. You had the strap, the wrist strap, the logo, and 5 fingers. That'd be cool. And you could collect them, like people do with the hockey logos that are huge. Those are cool for Upper Deck. Anyway, are you going to make $1,000 on this card? I don't think on this one. Maybe this one. Maybe. And maybe this one, given that there's the rookie card logo on it. That adds a little bit of value there. And these are the only 3 cards that I've been able to see. But what I'm saying here is that the price is very high. So this product is clearly made for breaks. And I'm going to break down the team. So what I do here is I'm going to distribute the cost of the case across all the teams and tell you basically by the type of card, if that's what you're seeking, what you should pay. So let's say that you're like, I really want these baseball leather cards. Well, a lot of teams have 0 of them. Okay, so starting down here, watch Senators, Rangers, there's 0. But these teams have baseball leather cards. There are 12 of them. There's 4 different ones, probably either 4 different players or 4 types. There might be a gold baseball leather, and then there's the regular baseball leather, and then there's going to maybe be 2 players of that. So 2 players with 2 different versions of it. Let's say that's the case. With the print run, you don't want to look at this number. This number doesn't help you very much. You want to look at, with the print run, how many cards are there total. And so there are 12 for the Braves. So if you really want those baseball, I'm going to tell you they're pretty rare. So this isn't going to be as useful as it normally is, because usually I have it by autograph, memorabilia, insert, parallel. But here I broke it down by the type of material, because I think that's what people want to know. So who has the most? Well, the most baseball is going to be the Braves, then these teams. Take a screenshot, use that when you make your purchase. Do you want to pay this price for that? I don't think so, but the teams are going to be expensive, so expect that. And then starting here, it's all 0, so I don't even need to go to page 2. Now, if you're looking for the batting glove cards, let's see who has the most batting glove cards. It's the Padres. They have 6 different cards and 14 with the print runs expanded. And most of these are 1 of 1s. So let's see. I'm not sure why there'd be 14 if most are 1 of 1s. It's obvious that some of them are not 1 of 1s. Maybe there's a batting glove card that is not a 1 of 1, and I should probably check on that. Yes, I will pause this video and check on that real quick. Okay, so I verified the batting glove card, which we don't have an example of, that is out of 5. So that's why that is happening there. And the wrist strap, and then there's the jumbo logo, which is what like the Cal Ripken Franklin logo is. That is out of 1. Those are 1 of 1. So there are basically, if a player appears in here, they're going to appear 3 times, and then they will have 7 cards basically. And that's what this shows. Toronto Blue Jays, they probably have Vlad maybe, or Bo Bichette, and it's got 7. I can actually look and see, because I have the spreadsheet pulled up now. Looks like for Toronto, just as an example here, they have Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Yep, he's got 3 different cards, 7 of them. There's the batting glove card, which is just the leather, and then everything else. All right, so that kind of explains that. So there's 2 players from the Padres, and that equals 14 different cards. So that's there. So I'll go to page 2 just so you can see like which teams have batting glove cards. There they are. So page 1 and page 2, these teams have batting glove cards. The rest don't. And then for the cut signatures, this is a big one because there are some very, very good cut signatures in this product. The Yankees have the most. They have 15 cut signatures. And then there's the rest of the teams there. And I will talk about some of the cut signatures. But for the most part, there's a Babe Ruth one in here. And let's see, other Yankees. There's some that maybe not so valuable. Bobby Mercer. Who else we got from the Yankees? Maybe Frank Corsetti. So maybe some fan favorites and stuff. So you might get a cut auto and be like, wow, this is amazing. And then realize, well, it's not a player that I really care about. But there is a Babe Ruth in there, so I would seek that out. I think this is pretty good representation of what you might want to pay in this break. I don't really know how much all of you drop on Dynasty breaks because you only get 5 cards, so the majority of people will not hit. And that's just how it is. So here's other teams with cut autos. That's 11 through 20. And then 21 through 30, even though it stops at the Astros. So again, take screenshots and understand when you're making your purchase, use as much information as you can, because if you don't use information to make your purchase, then you're gambling, and you don't want to gamble. So here's the number of MLB logo cards. The Yankees have the most, and that is the patch that's on the back of the fitted hats, also on the sleeve of most players' jerseys. That's the MLB logo, so those are the teams there. And then for the patch cards, which there are the most of, this is kind of the base set of this. There are 280 Yankees. There's 1 through 10 for that, 11 through 20, 21 through 30 for the patch cards, and let's see, and then the end of that. I wonder, there's not some logos here for these teams. I thought I had all the logos, even for the defunct teams. But anyway, we'll fix that later. And then if we're looking for the ones that are identified as relics, which I'm not sure if those are just jersey pieces. Relics are usually just fabric. So that might not a patch. So there's teams 1 through 10, and then 11 through 20, 21 through 30, and then the rest. There they are. That's how many relic cards they have. And then if we want to look at the total number of cards per team and the prices that you should pay, what this is telling you is if we distribute the cost of the case, that $43.50, across all the cards equally, and we don't consider who the players are and what the rarity is, we just say every card has the same value, which is what you're doing. You're actually paying for probability in that case. You're not paying for the card. If you pay for probability, you should pay, or you should, if you're a breaker, you should charge $415 for the Yankees, and you should pay $290 for the Braves. This is based on the distribution of autographs. Because again, like I've said in videos before, you aren't paying for a hit that you haven't got yet. What you're paying for is the probability that you'll get a hit, any hit from that team. Now that maybe there'll be player breaks, I'm not sure. But if they do it by team, this is what you should pay. Okay, so we're just distributing the cost of the case by these teams. So here's 11 through 20, here's 21 through 30, and this is for all cards, without bias towards the type of material. Okay, so there's those. So the Yankees obviously being the most rewarding team as far as the probability of getting a hit, but are those hits valuable? Do those hits actually carry a lot of value with them? Monetary value, money. Are you going to make ROI? And so I've developed an algorithm that grades these players, every player in a checklist, by how popular their sports cards and memorabilia are online. And I've done that on a scale of 1 to 5. I take all these numbers, I normalize them, and then I give them a grade, 1 through 5, and it's always the same. So if a player starts dropping in popularity, I don't adjust so that that player can stay a 5. Like let's say a rookie, a hot rookie, goes on a tear, gets really popular, cards are super valuable, and then they fall off. Well, their sports cards and memorabilia aren't going to be as popular, so they go to a 4, then a 3, then a 2. It's all just based on what time these searches are done. So based on that, I'm then able to aggregate all of that, do some sums and means and things like that, and figure out what's the total value of this product. Well, because everything's autographed, I can get the same score, actually, 4.2 out of 5 of players with, but based on this scale that I've developed here, when I do an aggregation of all of the cards by print run, the average score basically for this product is a 4.2 out of 5. So that's basically saying the majority of these autographs lean towards high end. 73% of the checklist falls between a 4 and a 5. Okay, and that's above average for tops. You know, but this is a high end product. And players that might fall into a 3 or a 2, or even a 1, it's just because either their memorabilia and sports cards aren't popular currently. Maybe they're rookies and they just haven't broken out. Because there are rookies in here that will be a little lower rated because they don't have the reputation yet. But there's also players like Julio Rodriguez who are rookies who are a 5 because they are very popular and people want their sports cards. I think the batting glove cards are the highlight of this product, and the total product is a 4.2 out of 5. That's easy because it's all autographed. So who has the strongest team? The Yankees, then the Braves, Angels, in this order, 1 through 10. These are the strongest teams by checklist. I mean, the Yankees, I don't even give a higher weight to people like Babe Ruth. It's just if you're a 5, you're a 5. You know, you have Aaron Judge, you have Babe Ruth, you have all of these great Yankee players, and you have some not as great Yankee. You know, like Rizzo, I think is a 4. So you have a distribution there, but you have a high print run. You have a lot of strength, a lot of ROI. So if you buy the Yankees, not only do you have a high probability of getting a hit, but you also have a high probability of a positive return on investment. Remember, return on investment can be 0, and it can be negative. So breaking even is 0. Your return on investment would be 0. Negative means you're selling at a loss, and that does happen sometimes, especially with a break like this where there's only 5 cards. How many breaks do you think, if you bought one of these teams down here or even one of the teams on like one of the other pages, how many breaks do you think you have to get into to even get a hit for those teams? That investment, you're not just compiling or you're not just saying that you invested that break. If you've bought into 2, 3, 4, 5 breaks, you have to add all that money up because that's your total investment. So keep that in mind. So here's 11 through 20 for team. This is value. This is demand. This means that you should get ROI. The top teams should get a higher ROI, then a little lower, then a little lower. And ROI does include, my definition includes money and time. So teams on this have more players in this checklist that sell quicker as well. So there's page 3 and there's page 4. There's 32 Devil Rays. There's 33 without a team. That's probably the dual and triple autos, I would think, and then the Senators, because you can't really break them out. So there you go. And here is the distribution of those players. So this checklist is really leaning towards a 5. This is a high-end checklist. You don't see this very often. Usually 3 is the highest. There's a 1 and 2. It's like a normal, what they call a normal distribution, but this one's definitely skewed. And then so interest over time in Dynasty came out in 2014. I don't have any data for that year. And then this is just popularity. The spikes are going to be releases. And then there's probably some other releases, you know, like as they release racing and stuff. But typically it stays pretty steady. There's a slight decline in the demand for people searching for Topps Dynasty. But overall, I think you have forever to sell these cards. They don't lose value. This is what this is saying. It should say that they lose value slightly. I should say that based on this chart, but they don't. This is just search interest. I think just over time, people searching for like 2015, it's obviously going to wane eventually, especially as new sets come out. So you don't have to worry about not getting things graded or selling immediately because you're racing the clock to sell. So let's look at the master checklist here. And this is not part of the simulation. This is just the master checklist. Who has the most cards? And coincidentally, because every card is autographed, the player with the most cards is also the player with the most autographs in this set. So Mike Trout, based on the print runs, and I did assume that the patch cards were 10, because it just says on the Topps website various. So I assumed 10. So by that account, by that measure, unless they're a lower print run, Mike Trout has 59 autographs. Vlad G has 58. And then you could read it. I don't have to read it to you. So there's a good number of high quality, good ROI autographs that have a high number. So the probability, this is a real true fact here, the probability of getting a Mike Trout autograph is higher than every other player, as long as those print runs are correct. And again, that's assessed. So if I'm wrong, it happens. I'm okay admitting it. And then here's page 2. And I'm not going to go through all the pages. I'll just go through maybe the first few, 5, 6, 7, somewhere in there. So you can see, take screenshots, which players have the most cards. And when you start to add up, by team, Lewis Robert and Jose Abreu, and there's actually some like Chris Bryant in this product has a Cubs card. So, keep that in mind, that it's not always about the player and where they're at now. It could be where they were at. So here's, I'll just go through a few pages. You could take screenshots. This is, I think that last one is Dansby Swanson being, here, Chris Bryant, Cubs. That's weird, right? Dansby Swanson. Braves, that's not weird because that transaction happened after. But there you go. Greg Maddux has a Cubs. I bet you he's got some Braves stuff too. There's guys in here with multiple teams. And I've accounted for that in all of this analysis. So here you go. That's the first 7 pages there. So the top 70 players on the checklist. Now by team, who has the most? Here you go. Here it is. We already looked at this because usually I break it down by the type of card. But since they're all autographs, we just did it all at once. So here's the number of cards by print run. There's 478 one-of-ones. You should definitely probably get a one-of-one in every case. But that's not a guarantee because of how many cards there are. This is the number of unique cards. And then when you take the print run into account, this is how many cards there are at each print run. I thought there'd be 1-of-2s and 3s and 4s. Not that I've seen. There might be, but they didn't reveal that. So total cards that are 1-of-1 by team. The Yankees have way more, over 20 more than the next team. Braves have, then it kind of evens out a little bit. Braves, Red Sox, Cardinals, Angels, Cubs. Blue Jays, let's see, who else has 1-of-1s? Every team probably has 1-of-1s. These are the total number of 1-of-1s per team. And hopefully you hit a 1-of-1. Use this information wisely. Obviously the Yankees are the team to buy in this, and they're going to be very expensive. A lot of breakers price their products, in my opinion, wrong. They price them based on hype, whereas they should do it by probability, and that's more fair. But you guys pay it, so be careful. Here's the breakdown by card type. So there's only 23, so I could go through all of them. So on this day, autographed patch, that's going to be like a moment, and I think the patch is from a jersey worn on that day. I don't know. Special event baseball, and this is from the checklist. This lathe, it's leather. That's just an error I didn't correct because I have no business correcting it. Special event, so that's probably from something. So there you go. That's 1 through 10. There's the number of cards for those sets, and there's the number of cards. And this is, again, some of them are assessed when there's no print run. So then I simulate the case break. So there's 5 cards per case. I simulate it based on the print runs, pack odds, things that I know about. I do it 20 times. And so first I'm going to show you one case, and that's case 20. Here it is. I got these cards. I did get a cut signature of Bob Gibson. That's pretty sweet. That's a 1-of-1. The rest of the cards I got were out of 10. Got that Chris Bryant card from the Cubs. Kyle Schwarber from the Phillies. Ivan Rodriguez, Alex Rodriguez. Not a bad break, honestly. Is it worth $4,400? No, probably not. Especially with 4 ones of 10s. Yeah, that's what it is. That's one case. So usually this is more revealing about the teams. This is a realistic simulation, and we could break by team, but we have 5 different teams, so it's really not that valuable. I did get a 1-of-1. I didn't get, like I do, notable inserts and stuff, notable autos. I did Babe Ruth here and a couple other players to see if I get them, but I didn't. And I think I did like the batting glove. I'm not sure. We'll see when we do the 20. So 1-of-1s, when I did 20 case breaks, I did get a lot of 1-of-1s. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So I actually got 1 per case. And that's not something I coded in. That just happens randomly. But there are a lot of 1-of-1s. So I did get 1-of-1 per case. Got this awesome Trout Griffey dual auto. Man, that is sweet. And that's out of 1. These are all 1-of-1s. So I got a Mark Grace out of 1-of-1. Joe Ryan. You got a mix of different rookies and legends and current players. There they all are. So decent. Look, this is a pretty good card here. Abreu, Jimenez, and Thomas. So there's some good stuff in there. If you do 20 case breaks, you probably should expect similar results. Now, did I get any batting gloves? I got a wrist strap of Paul Goldschmidt, and I got a 1-of-5 autographed batting glove card from Xander Bogaerts. So, yeah, that's it there. No Babe Ruths. No Babe Ruth cut autos. So for the 20 cases, here's the cards that I got in order. So you can see that it's very similar to the breakdown by the master checklist. So that's the teams. This is, again, not the master checklist. This is a simulation, a realistic simulation of a case of case breaks. So this is what you could expect to see in a realistic collation example. And then here are them by print run. I got a bunch of these 1-of-1s. Here's the team I got the most 1-of-1s for, the White Sox, then the Braves, Red Sox, Yankees. So even though I think the Yankees had the most 1-of-1s, I got the most from the White Sox. So that might be something you should consider when you buy into breaks. And then, print runs out of 10, no one really cares about. Print runs out of 5, got the most Braves, Astros, Cubs. The Cubs are looking pretty good in this. So I might actually have to go buy some Cubs break in this. So there you go. And then by card type, so for leather, we got 2 Braves, nothing else. This is for 20 cases, so we should have what? 100 cards. 100 cards. Got 2 batting glove cards, got 1 cut signature, I got 1 MLB logo, I got a whole ton of patches. Here's the team, Yankees with the most, and then by team after that. And then relics, or whatever's defined as a relic, I got these, 4, 5, 6. So there you go by type. My overall recommendation is obviously, wow, this product is freaking awesome. It looks great. I love the aesthetic. I love this product. I just wish I could afford it at just under $1,000 a box. I don't think there's a chance. There's almost no chance to make full money if you're buying a personal box or case. And I'm not saying you can't. Obviously, if you buy a box and you hit that Griffey, Trout, dual auto, you're gonna make way more than $1,000. But if you buy many boxes, you're gonna have some duds in there, so you might actually wind up breaking even. I think the price is just too expensive, and while I say high-end products shouldn't have a base set, I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb on this one and say perhaps you should include some more cards in each pack, some base, very high-end, very hard to find, maybe some framed transcendent style base cards. That way you're getting something. Maybe if you hit a bad auto, your base cards maybe out of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 could be valuable. They could be get you some of your money back and make you feel a little bit better about your purchase, because otherwise this is a straight gamble. This product is a straight gamble. The batting glove logo cards are probably one of the best cards I've seen Topps make. I want them, and so if you get some, let me know. I might buy it off of you if it's not $1,000. Who should buy this? Well, I think there's a lot of people that shouldn't buy this. Casual collectors, don't buy this. Maybe buy singles if you can afford them, but they're going to be expensive. Collector on a budget, obviously, don't buy it. People who get things graded, yeah, okay. You might be the right market for this, because these cards do look good slabbed. And especially if Beckett or PSA ever comes out with a horizontal slab, that would be good. They should do that. Investors, yes, definitely buy into breaks, buy singles. Set builders, don't build a set. You're not gonna build a set. Kids, no way. Team breaks makes sense. Random team breaks do not make sense. There's too much variation. You're gonna wind up throwing money away. I know it evens out, and you might get lucky. But again, when you convince yourself that you're going to get lucky, you're gambling. So I'm trying to take that away from you. Don't gamble. Be smart. Serial number breaks, don't buy, because there's so many 1-of-1s. The guy or girl who gets 1 is going to win. I mean, that's going to be such an awesome thing to do. And then you have the chance of getting not only the 1-of-1s, but anything that's 1 of 10. So why would you do a serial number break? That makes no sense. And I've shown you what the breakdown is by serial number. And a hit draft, I'm saying don't buy into a hit draft only because, again, like the random, I don't feel like if all 5 cards in every case are going to be great. I know a hit draft's probably the most logical, because you just get 5 people to pay the same amount and then everyone gets a hit. But why not in that case just buy a box for yourself, a personal box? I just don't think it's worth it. So I think just stick to team breaks and understand that you're way more likely to not get a hit than you are to get a hit because of how few boxes and how much money it is. So that's it. That's 2022 Topps Dynasty Baseball. I think this product is amazing. That's it. Thanks for joining me. See you guys next time.